Hey everybody, it's Jose Laya. We hope you're doing well. The second quarter of 2025 for the real estate market is in the books. And since the beginning of this year, we've started to do our market updates, focusing on each neighborhood we cover as a single video to allow you to really hone in on the neighborhood of your choice. Whether you currently live there and want to see how the market is doing, or you're considering buying there, we want to be able to put the information in your hands in a quick and easy way. We're also going to look at a lot more data points to be able to give you more details and information as to how the market is doing. We will also give you a breakdown of the sales data, including active listings for sale, closed sales, and we're also going to dive a bit deeper to see what price range most of this activity is taking place in. And we then will wrap things up with our market summary. Today we're looking at the condo market in downtown Miami. We have a lot to cover. Let's jump right in. In our first graph, we're looking at a month-by-month breakdown of the numbers for the second quarter. Let's jump right in. And April, May, and June. What stands out right away, look at the number of active listings. It jumped from 566 to 756. What we can tell you as we had to dive deeper into the data, we saw this phenomenon occurring in every neighborhood that we cover. So we wanted to find out why. And what we found is that most listings are set to expire around the end of the first quarter. So come right around March 31st, you're going to see a lot of listings drop off the market. Hence, April has a lower number of active listings, and then it ramps up. May, June, you get more listings. As the weeks and months go by, those listings that expired, they come back on the market. So this is not just in downtown Miami. Again, this is in every neighborhood that we saw. It's just a market phenomenon that happens, and we just wanted to highlight that for you. So don't be alarmed by the huge increase from April, May, and June. It's pretty common. Something that we uncovered, in doing all this research. Let's look at the other key indicators to see what's really going on in downtown. Now, one thing that we do not like to see is we do not like to see active listings increase, but yet closed sales decrease. That's not a good sign. Look at that decrease from 3644 and then 27, which is why months of supply almost doubled to 28. Oddly enough, days on market actually decreased to 74. Pricing pretty much held steady at 627 and then 650 a median price sold. Let's now jump into our next graph, which compares the first quarter numbers to the second quarter numbers to see if we can spot any trends, because this right here is sending us some mixed signals. Let's look at the next graph. Here we go. Okay, so now we're looking at first quarter numbers versus second quarter. And let's first talk about active listings. As we showed you in the prior graph that the number of active listings was increasing dramatically. This is why we like to use different graphs with different sets of data to be able to show you. If you look at the prior graph, you think, wow, actives increased dramatically. But as we said, look at the results. First quarter had 768 active listings, second quarter 756. So they actually went down slightly. That's why it's very important to see different points, different sets of data, and why we like to show you the real numbers, not just us up here talking about what we think is going on. Interestingly enough, the active listings went down, closed sales went up from 88 to 107. That's a big jump. Again, if we looked at the prior graph, we actually saw the closed sales decreasing from April, May, and June. However, it was actually higher than the first quarter. So that's a good sign. That's why the months of supply went down to 21, which is still very high, and the days on market increased to 90. Pricing's pretty much on par, 595 and 585 for median price sold. From right here, what we can take, closed sales were up, which is good. Months of supply went down, but it's still 21 months is very, very high, and days on market increased. Let's now look at our next graph, which gives us a snapshot of where the market stands today, as well as what price range this activity is taking place in. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so here's our final graph. Let's look at where the market stands today. Downtown Miami, 756 condos for sale. Any way you look at that, That's a huge number of active listings, especially given that it's a small area. Closed sales for the quarter were 107. That gives us about 21 months of supply. 21 months is extremely high. 6 to 9 months is considered a balanced or a normal market. 21 months is very, very high. Let's look at what price range is most of the activity taking place in the condo market in downtown Miami. And clearly, it stands out at $1 million and under. That's where most the actives and closed sales are taking place. 528 out of the 756 and 81 closed sales out of the 107. So over 70% of the market occurs in downtown Miami at $1 million and less. Even at $3 million, there's still 153 active listings, but 16 closed sales for the quarter. That's a huge drop off. So you could say that the majority of the market for condos in downtown Miami is clustered at the $1 million and under, and a little bit more between 1 and 3 million. At 3 million plus, everything tapers off. You have 32 active listings, 3 to 5, 37 active listings, 5 to 10. But look, there is only 10 closed sales for the entire quarter at over $3 million. At 10 million plus, even though there's only 6 listings, there is 0 closed sales. We will point out that we have said that $10 million plus in every neighborhood that we are covering and making these videos for, there's in the midst of a slowdown, 10 million plus. So it's not just the condo market in downtown Miami, it's every neighborhood that we've covered so far. Since we have the price ranges up, we always like to talk about the lowest price closed sale for the quarter and the highest price closed sale. The lowest price closed sale was a 1-bedroom at Loft 1 that sold for $270,000. The highest priced closed sale was a high floor 4-bedroom condo at 1000 Museum, which is always setting records for downtown Miami. It sold for just under $8 million at 7995. It sold at almost $1,700 per square foot, which again, that's 1000 Museum, which is one of the star buildings in downtown Miami. Now that we've run through all the numbers, let's jump into our summary. So in summary, right now in the condo market in downtown Miami, we would have to say it's leaning towards a strong buyer's market, as there's just too many active listings, almost 800 active listings in such a small area, and closed sales has just not kept up. There's 21 months of supply. That's almost 2 years of supply. If no other listings came on the market right now, almost 2 years. That's very, very high. It gives buyers a lot of options to sort through, especially considering that every day and week there's more listings for sale. Most of this activity, over 80% of the activity in the condo market, takes place at $3 million and below, which is very active at that price range, but there's still way too many active listings. One area of concern, we'll point it out, that above 3 million in downtown, the market moves rather slow and not many closed sales take place. For buyers, if you're looking for a condo in downtown Miami, you definitely have a lot of inventory to choose from. However, we will always point out that with condos, it's building specific. You may have one building that has 50 listings for sale and the one next door may have 5. You just never know, but you have to go building by building and check their levels of inventory. However, with 756 active listings, we feel you should still be able to find the condo that you want and be able to negotiate it. It's absolutely clear that at $1 million and under, that is a little bit more competitive. So please take note. If you're a seller in this market, you have to be very careful when pricing your condo for sale. Downtown Miami condo market, it's just not a big area. So there's too much inventory for buyers to sort through. Given the high levels of inventory, we suggest pricing your condo below the market as soon as it's listed. Don't try to chase down the market, because in a market like this, you won't sell your condo unless it's a truly special one of one. As we always point out with condos, it's building specific. Understand the dynamics of the market, check the levels of inventory for sale, not only in your neighborhood, but in your building, but also understand that the market dynamics encompass a lot of different data points. We always suggest that you work with a professional to help guide you through to get your condo sold as fast as possible for as much money as possible. Well, that's our second quarter of 2025 market update for condos in downtown Miami. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami. And as I start my 19th year in the real estate business, I can proudly say that our goal in making these videos is to provide you with value and help as many people as we can by sharing real market data to give you a better insight into the local market. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.